Alright, so Season 4 has basically also brought on a pretty much complete overhaul of the starter items and the way they work. So, in the past, you would have a lot of starter items. You can see them all here. They've all been removed from the game. You would be able to start a mask plus a normal starter item, 800 gold. That is all gone. Now they're being replaced by blessings. Each role has a blessing. So there's Guardian, Warrior, Assassin, Mage, and Hunter. And there is no mask type mechanic, so there's no Rangdas, there's no Bumbas, there's no Lonos. So instead, all of these blessings basically are unique and designed to their own role. So some of them combine mechanics from the previous starter items that you'll see, and pretty much the point is to simplify the starter item process so that a new player can basically tell what they should start. But at the same time, for higher level players, there is still a lot of complexity and a lot of variety in what you can build. For example, if you are playing Soul in the past and you wanted a player like an ADC, your starter items didn't really facilitate your playstyle at all. You would just basically be building it for level 1 and for clear, and it didn't really feel that interactive. Now, Soul will have the option to build a Hunter Blessing. She can build, if you're a Guardian, but you really want to, double jungle, if you're like a Circuit support or something like that, you could build the Assassin Blessing instead of the Guardian's Blessing. You have a lot more options that you can choose, and it'll be pretty unique. So, for example, no longer will it be physical and magical locked. So, in the past, obviously, a Mage could never build Death Toll, but now Soul could build Hunter's Blessing, Ymir could build Hunter's Blessing, Ymir could build Mage's Blessing, a Hunter could build a Warrior's Blessing or a Mage's Blessing. If you're an ability-based Hunter, say you're playing like an Uller or something, you could build Mage's Blessing if you want, and so on. So basically keep that in mind, and that's basically the direction the game is going, so we'll go over each blessing. The first one is Assassin's Blessing. This is basically your Bumba's Mask. So all of them are 700 gold, and you can only buy one. So you can't buy multiple, even though there's 700 and you start with 1500, you can't buy two. You're limited to one. So it's 35% bonus damage versus jungle monsters, and then 7% health restored and 20 mana restored. So basically this is just, you're clearing in the jungle, you're going to build this, and it'll give you a lot of jungle sustain. It'll help you clear faster, move to camps quicker because you're clearing quicker. And then once you kill 50 jungle camps or assist on them, or you kill gods, and each enemy god kill is worth 5 stacks, then it evolves and you get 10 penetration. This sort of evolve or role quest thing is on every single one of the blessings, so you get an added bonus after you fully stack it. So then moving on to Guardian's Blessing, 700 gold again. This is basically your Watchers and has an added mechanic. So 100 health is the same, I believe. I think these stats are the same. 3 gold per lane minion assisted. This is down from 5 gold, so a nerf from Watchers. 7 HP and mana restored per lane minion assist. So, comparing this to Watchers, as far as sustain goes, this is actually a pretty big nerf. So you lose 2 gold per minion, which is a big deal in itself. That's 12 gold per wave, or 6 gold per jungle camp. That definitely adds up over time. That's a really big deal. And then 7 HP and mana restored per lane minion assist. This used to be 10 health and 6 mana, and it would also have 5 MP5. So 6 mana and 5 MP5 is way more mana sustain than 7 mana per lane minion, and the health is just a flat nerf. So overall, from my experience on PTS, I actually think this needs to be a little tweaked. I think having the mana back on this, the MP5, would really be nice, or just, upping the value of both of those a little bit. You don't want to get too crazy because, for example, if they want to give more HP and you bump this up to 10, then that might be a little bit too strong. So I'm not really sure, but I think right now supports do feel a little mana hungry, and I don't exactly love that. But then the role quest for support is each assist is worth 1 stack, same Watchers mechanics, and then at 50 you gain bonus 3 gold per 5, so this is like old Midas Boots effect. So every minute you're gaining, am I crazy? I can't do math. Why can't I do math? Okay, sorry, I'm trolling. Every minute you gain 36 gold, right? I was doing 100 for some reason, but it's, 60 seconds, because I'm smart. So yeah, you're getting 36 gold a minute. Not bad, but I think overall this is a big nerf to Watchers. I think having the 5 gold and the MP5 and the extra health sustain was a little bit better, but it's still a very good item. And something to keep in mind is early game it'll be a little bit worse, which I think is good, because early game Watchers was completely broken. But in the late game, once you're rotating a lot and you're team fighting, the fact that you can just farm better and rotate better, even though you're not actually killing stuff, is definitely a big benefit. So, overall, I like the passive on Guardian's Blessing, but I wish they would tweak some of the other stats a little bit. Hunter's Blessing, I already mentioned you could buy this on magical ADCs. 15 basic attack damage at the start, 5 MP5, you know, same thing, killer assist lane minions, 75. Oh, I actually forgot to mention, an assist with lane minions to gain stacks. Currently on PTS, this is functioning off the jungle as well. According to the tooltip, it definitely shouldn't. So I don't know if that'll get changed or not, but just keep that in mind. But anyways, going back to Hunters, this one for sure is only lane minions, and then at 75 stacks, you gain 15% attack speed and 15 bonus basic attack damage. So yeah, basically, if you're auto-attacking, you'd build this. Even if you're, you know, if you're like a solo Kali or something like that, you'd want to be building this Blessing. Also, another thing you could do is if you are support and you want to get like really insane pressure, you could go Sylvanas with Hunter's Blessing. This will apply to every single creep you hit. You'll be able to box people. It's actually really, really strong. I don't know if they'll change the way it functions on AoE auto attackers. So if you're like an AoE auto attacker and you're clearing the jungle or something with this, you actually clear insanely quickly. So maybe this number gets tweaked a little bit, but yeah, it's still a very, very strong Blessing. This is probably the second strongest Blessing in the game. I think Mage is probably the first, but yeah, it's up there. Speaking of Mages, so I should have mentioned as well, I think Blessings are the most likely thing to get tweaked. Starter items always dictate a very large portion of the game and the early game, and just, you know, it really influences the meta a lot. So you probably will see a lot of these values and a lot of these numbers change. For example, 30 bonus ability damage. Thoth has actually been disabled on the PTS because this ability damage would proc on his 1 3 times. It would proc on his 2 1 time and his alt once, so it would be 5 total procs. But then if you shoot all of those abilities through Thoth's little 3, his little window or whatever, it would also proc off of the 3 5 times. So you would have 10 procs of this. So Thoth would literally have 300 bonus ability damage in his kit, which is just so nuts. 3 MP5 per 10% mana missing. Like I said, some of these starter items have old starter mechanics. So this is like Sands of Time passive. This is like Soulstone kinda. And then Roll Quest, once you get 75 stacks, this is the same way you would stack Hunter's Blessing. It evolves and you gain 10% CDR. So really strong Blessing. It's good late. You know, it's good early, mid, late. It's just a good Blessing. Scales really well. And then Warrior's Blessing. This one actually has been getting a lot of crap. I don't think it's bad, but I think people are comparing it to the other Blessings, which are definitely just a lot stronger. The damage ones seem to be the best by far. But I don't think the Warrior one is bad. 50 health, 3 reduction of all damage taken. This like Vanguard passive, and then 40 health is restored upon dealing damage to an enemy god. 10-second cooldown, and then dealing damage provides 1 stack. This can only occur 10 seconds. Getting a kill or an assist on an enemy god provides 5. At 15 stacks, it evolves and you gain 10 of each prot. So this is just basically like full defense. You might be able to mess around with this in support if you want to be like really aggressive in the laning phase. I personally haven't messed with that yet, but that definitely could be a thing. And yeah, I think if all these numbers get tweaked and all the starter items, this one is just like, as far as having a lot in a Blessing, like this is just objectively good. Like maybe the values right now are a little undertuned, or the other Blessings are a little too, just like a little too good to pass up. But I mean, health, Vanguard passive, procs, Gladiator shield type thing. This is a very lane-centric Blessing, and I think if you know, you get to a slower state of the game and damage isn't as strong as it is right now on the PTS, I think this will be really good. And then Non-conquest Blessings is for your other game modes. Attackers is basically just power, and it evolves. You gain 10 pen at 100 or at 50 stacks, and you just have to deal damage to stuff to get the stacks. And then Defenders, same thing, 100 health, 10 of each prot, and you gain 100 health and mana once it's evolved. And then Specialists, 10 MP5, 10% CDR, and then you gain 10% movement speed. So yeah, basically the starter items are completely overhauled, and that's how it works. I like this system a lot better. I think it's super cool that you can facilitate different playstyles. For example, being able to say, hey, I'm playing solo ADC this game, and being able to build like an actual auto attacker, I think is really cool. Previously, Scylla would just like basically rely on her attack speed to be played ADC, and once they tweaked her from Season 3 going into Season 4, you basically only saw her as a mid laner, and now stuff like that could come back. It'll be a big boost to Freya to be able to build stuff like this, so yeah, I think it's good all around.